folks, we're finally out here combining these beans. They finally dried up enough and we could get out here and the combine wouldn't sink down too bad. And today we've been kind of waiting on the sun to come out and dry the beans up a little bit for us to be able to shell, and they're going in pretty good. So stick around and I'll video some more combining. In case you can't tell, these beans are kind of short, but they've had a pretty rough year. First they got too much water, and then they didn't have any water. Not only that, we had some insect damage and the deer really tore them up, so they kind of struggled this year, but I think we'll do okay. They seem to have a good bit of seed pods on them, so I don't know, we'll see how they do, and I think they'll do all right. So in case you folks were wondering about the flaps there on the reel, we put belting in between the fingers on there, the tines, to help get the shorter beans into the header. Well, I just had to dig a piece of mud off the header there that scooped up down here. Got in the cutter bar and it was bending beans down. They're too short to lose. So to remind you folks, the beans that are out here, these are the ones that we put in no-till with that pasture dream, that sod seeder. And they did very well. If they had had a little less water when they were getting a bunch, and then a little bit of water the whole month of September when it was dry as a bone, I think they would have done a whole lot better. But they did pretty good. They came up a good bit thicker because being a sod seeder or drill of sorts, they're not as metered as well as, you know, a planter with plates in it, but they did pretty good and can't complain. They're just under a lot of stress, but that's how we put these in. To just remind you, that video is back from a few months ago, so head over and check it out if you want to. Look at the ground here. Not seeing any beans coming out the back of the combine. It's a good thing. Doing a pretty good job threshing them. These beans down here are a little bit taller because when they were putting on beans when it was so dry, this is a little lower area, so they were actually able to get a little more moisture. That's why they're a good bit taller in that area. Gleaner's doing a pretty good job. Well, folks, Dad's headed to the other end of the field right now, which gives me a second to say, if you're in the West Point, Mississippi area, be sure to check out Griggs CarQuest for all of your automotive needs. They have Stihl, Husqvarna, Toro, Bush Hog, any sort of the outdoor power to make sure your yard, landscape, and outdoor power needs are covered completely, along with every automotive part you might need. So be sure to check them out if you're near West Point, Mississippi. No, they didn't pay me to say that, but Brian Griggs did give me this really cool shirt, so I just felt like it was a nice thing to do. Back to harvest time. Well, folks, we're going to stop for today. The beans that are down here, if you can see, that are kind of a darker brown color, they're not quite as dry. Also, the ones on this tip down here, we have a couple of different varieties out here, so they're not quite dried down yet, and the sun went down. It's cool out here. It's probably low 60s right now, and moisture's coming up, so we're gonna have to stop for tonight, and I'll catch you folks tomorrow. Well, folks, change of plans. I got here tonight. There's a chance of rain in the morning, so we may not be combining beans, but I'm fixing to unload the little bit of beans that are left in the hopper in the back of the truck and go put it in the barn so they don't get wet if it were having to rain. So this is the last installment for today. Maybe I'll catch you folks tomorrow if it doesn't rain. If not, I might need to pick this video up later. See you then. Unknown in the dark. Kind of sketchy situation here, holding a flashlight, but okay, she's empty. Catch you folks later. Well, folks, we're back at it. Sorry I didn't give you that cold start action, but it's not that impressive on a gas engine. But it's overcast today. They were threatening some rain. It didn't rain. We tried to let the beans get as much air as they could, much wind, but we're gonna go on and finish it up. Well, folks, like I said, we're back out here today. It's really overcast, not getting a whole lot of heat on these beans to help dry them out, but they're pretty dry. A lot of the shells are popping, so we're gonna go on and get them because it's supposed to, there's a chance of rain either tomorrow or the next day, and if it rains again, it's probably gonna be too wet down here for us to get these. So we're gonna go on and get them out, and that's what we're gonna do. I got the ones left on the truck from last night that you saw me unloading. So hopefully we'll get a few more in the hopper here in just a few minutes and make a full load. folks, I know what you saw in the cab there that I just filmed was real thin stuff, and that was the thinner stuff that we had. First off, it's in a really low area over there, and secondly, the deer just tore these beans up along with insects. I won't put it all on the deer, but it was mainly the deer, and it just really thinned down through there. So this wasn't our main crop this year. This was basically just to cover this ground up and keep it covered up, but wish they'd done a little bit better, but I'm happy with what we got, and hopefully we'll do better next time. Well, folks, we're wrapping up. I think he's on his little last pass there. Yep, he's done. So he's fixing to come dump in the truck, and we're gonna head to the house. And I'll wrap the video up there or on the way or something. See you in a minute. Well, folks, that's going to be it for this video. Beans did okay, not nearly as good as we thought they were going to, but we had a pretty good idea that they weren't going to turn out just, excellent because of the deer, insects, weather, you name it. So, anyway, we're headed back to the house now. I'm following Dad here in the truck. Got a load in the back, and that's going to be it for Harvest 2019. I hope y'all enjoyed my video. Please feel free to like and share and subscribe, whatever you want to do. And yes, that is a garbage bag on the seat behind me. This seat's really dirty. So, it's going to be it for today. I'll catch you folks later.